Get your dice out because today we're playing Pauper Poison Storm, a proliferate based strategy based around Pentad Prism and Infectious Inquiry. Let's go check it out. Look at this spicy deck list in front of you. I'm so excited to play it today. As I mentioned in the intro, it's a poison deck based around cards that infect the opponent like Prologue to Phyresis, Infectious Inquiry, and then from there, you proliferate with cards such as Steady Progress, Contentious Plan, Experimental Augury, and many others. So how you make mana in this Storm combo deck is typically with Pentad Prism. Additionally, Everflowing Chalice is sort of like a Pentad Prism that doesn't make colored mana, but for colored mana, we also have Lotus Petal, and then 12 depletion lands from Mercadian Mass. We have Hickory Woodlot, Peat Bog, and Saprazzan Skerry. So the idea with this deck is you don't actually storm your opponent out, you just play a bunch of cards that proliferate after you poison them. We do have Weather the Storm in the main deck. There's no combo with this card in the deck. It's just a card that keeps you alive. So one of the reasons to play this dice-based strategy with tons of counters and, all that good stuff is that it's really good against the mono red deck due to having 4 main deck copies of Weather the Storm and then Breath Weapon. So you're able to sweep their board, gain a ton of life, and stabilize, making this deck one of the better combo decks in the format for battling the current metagame, which is what we're trying to do here today. In the sideboard, we have another Breath Weapon, just to make sure we beat mono red, and then Serrated Arrows, which is good against the creature strategies in the format that aren't mono red, just because, you could board it in against mono red, I suppose. But it's really good against decks like Hoggy, where you have a lot of time, you just pick off their creatures one by one and then they can never stabilize. We also have things like Anoint with Affliction and Bring the Ending that have to deal with poison counters as well. Dispel against control decks, stuff like that. So that's a quick and easy how the deck works. Let me know what you think of my deck list in the comment section down below, or what you think of the deck in general. I really do appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I kind of want to just hop on in and play some Pauper Magic the Gathering today. I'll see you in the first match. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like the epicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via the epicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first round. We're on the draw. So this hand seems okay. Like, you have 2 depletion lands, you have your Experimental Auguries. I don't think that it's the worst. My fear is that we don't have Pentad Prism or a way to infect the opponent. We don't know if these Weather the Storms are even good in the matchup. Or Breath Weapon. Like, if our opponent's on a blue deck, this hand is actually a mulligan to 4. So I think I'm going to mulligan. If we knew that we were faced against mono red, I would have kept it. And we've kept a terrible 6. We'll go to 5 cards. Okay. This is okay enough, I suppose. We'll put Steady Progress and a Lorien Revealed on the bottom. I'm like kind of praying that they don't show me, okay, good, a basic mountain. I would have felt so bad if they just went like basic mountain creature. We'll play the Saprazzan Skerry, pass the turn. Island, pass. I don't love that. Alright, we're going to tap this for 2. And let's cycle a Lorien Revealed. We'll grab an island, play that island, and then I'm going to cycle Lorien Revealed again. So I could play a Proliferate spell here. My concern with doing so is that we're playing right into Counterspell. I don't want to do that. So instead I'm going to pass. They now play a Preordain. So they either drew this or they were holding open Counterspell last turn. Okay. Peat Bog was a good draw. We'll play that and pass the turn. And step they Brainstorm. Land number 4. And once again, they're just passing. Another Saprazzan Skerry. Let's play that and pass. They know that we still have a basic island in our hand. And you might be saying, Bryant, why not just play out the Pentad Prism? They're going to have to tap out to play a creature at some point, or tap low to play a creature at some point. So I'm trying to build towards that. Also, maybe on their end step, I just play, Experimental Augury or something and then level up our lands. Like, there's ways that we can sequence so that we're not just destroyed by Counterspell. We'll play that island, pass the turn. Actually, should I play out the Pentad Prism now? Alright, let's play out the Pentad Prism. They're probably not going to counterspell it. So we are now playing the Pentad Prism. They counterspell it. Interesting. Alright, let's play Contentious Plan. Another counterspell. Surprising. We'll tap the Skerry. Let's Experimental Augury. They could have a Spell Pierce, but I'm not going to play around that. We find the Inquiry, which is great. And now we put counters on all of our lands. Pass the turn. Murmuring Mystic. So they're tapping low. This is a good turn for us to try to level up. Okay, so let's tap the Peat Bog. And maybe I'll float a black mana here. So they got their first poison counter. And I could choose to disrespect the the possibility of Spell Pierce here and just play the Insight. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to choose to respect Spell Pierce. And they were F6, so they didn't actually have it. So I could have played the Insight, I just didn't. Tap that for 2 mana. Let's play Experimental Augury again. We'll take the Infectious Inquiry. And we'll pass the turn. They attack for 1, we'll go to 17. Ninja of the Deep Hours, okay. So that tells me that they might actually be fairies. I thought that they were Dimir control, or Dimir Terror, whatever you would like to call it, but they're actually just fairies. They find a Lorien Revealed. We'll start by playing Everflowing Chalice for 1. And now let's Experimental Augury. We'll take the Pentad Prism. We don't really care about Weather the Storm here. We'll tap for black, tap for blue, play Pentad Prism. Trying to figure out what the right play is here. I'm going to Experimental Augury again. Take the Contentious Plan. Target them, and then a bunch of our permanents. Okay, they're at 5 poison now. Minus a blue. Let's Contentious Plan. Make sure we target them. Okay, they now have 6 poison. Let's Infectious Inquiry. Alright, they're at 7 poison. We'll play our land for the turn and pass. We're definitely in a good spot. 3 more poison does it. They attack for 3. Another Ninja of the Deep Hours. Sure. I'm at 10. Another Augur of Bolas. They've found nothing on that? Okay. They cycle for an island. We find a Hickory Woodlot. Let's start with a Prologue here. This does not proliferate. It will just give them a poison. That does proliferate. We'll play a Contentious Plan. So this will bring them up to 9 poison. We'll tap for 3 colorless, 2 blue. And now we'll play the Insight. And this should win the game. Sweet. Alright, sideboarding. We can bring in Dispel. And then we'll get rid of these Weather the Storms. We don't actually want those. And then we can bring the Ending. And then board out Breath Weapon. You could also leave in the Breath Weapons. There's nothing wrong with that. It is good against the fairy style strategies. It's just like, is that what you think the matchup is about? That's the big question. I'm going to choose to not bring in Breath Weapon. If I lose game 2, I might reconsider for game 3. But I just want to try beating them on the counterspell axis right now and see how that goes. Well, this hand is really good if you draw a second land. But the problem is, we're not guaranteed that. I'd rather just mulligan. This hand's pretty risky too. I think we're supposed to keep it. We'll bottom the Insight. Turn 1 Fairy Seer. This also might be a matchup for Serrated Arrows. I didn't bring it in because I was thinking, maybe I'm thinking wrong, but I was like, well, do I want Breath Weapon or Serrated Arrows? Like, theoretically, they could, like, Ninjutsu their creatures over and over again. Maybe I'm just wrong. Augur of Bolas, they find a Cast Down. That is not a card they wanted. So we'll take 1 here. Pentad Prism is a very good draw. So I think I'll also use the Saprazzan Skerry here. And let's just Contentious Plan. Level up our lands a little bit. And we'll pass. They play a tap land, and now they're attacking for 2. We go to 17. Infectious Inquiry was a good draw. We'll play Pentad Prism, floating 2 mana. We will bring the Ending on the Spellstutter Sprite. Pentad Prism, and now we'll pass. They attack for 2. We'll take it. We go to 15. Ninja. Okay. That was good for them. We draw another Infectious Inquiry. Thinking how I want to sequence this. So I think I just need to Experimental Augury. We'll do that. Another Spell Stutter Sprite. So would you rather lose the counters from your land or the Pentad Prism? And I think it's probably the Pentad Prism. We're going to bring the ending on the Spell Stutter Sprite. Experimental Augury. We'll take the island. And now we proliferate. Can no longer proliferate on the Pentad Prism. Play the island. We'll pass the turn. They attack for 3 again. We'll go to 11. They preordain. Augur of Bolas. So, like, Augur's a big reason why I didn't like Serrated Arrows. And, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for not bringing them in. But it just seems like it's actually tough to, like, Serrated Arrows lock them out. They find Lorien Revealed. We'll play Lotus Petal. Let's try an Infectious Inquiry. Counter spell. Okay. We'll play another. Play Saprazzan Skerry, pass the turn. We're not out of this yet, but we're already at 9 life. I feel like it's going to be tough to poison them out, considering we boarded out both Weathers and Breath Weapon. Like, they just had a very disruptive hand. Double Spell Stutter, Counterspell, double Ninja of the Deep Hours. Yeah, we're done here. Let's go to game 3. Okay. So, do you want the Breath Weapons or do you want Serrated Arrows? Like, I feel like Serrated Arrows, being 4 mana is going to be tough to resolve. And then they have Augur of Bolas and Ninjas that they kind of just can play to get around it. It is really good against the fairy aspect of the deck. So let's try bringing in Breath Weapons. I'll get rid of Deep Analysis, because that card's kind of clunky anyway. And then maybe 1 Insight. Let's try this. On the play. No lands. Send it back. Come on, deck. This is brutal. Mulligan. We'll keep. Get rid of double Insight. Play Saprazzan Skerry, pass the turn. Fairy Seer, yep. Everflowing Chalice. We'll play the Chalice on 1. And let's just make sure the Pentad Prism resolves. So we'll play it now for 1. Pass. We're not in a great spot here, but it's something. They attack. Ninja of the Deep Hours. We go to 18. Dispel. We'll play Contentious Plan. Proliferate. We draw a forest. Alright, we need to draw a spell. We will pass the turn. Land number 3. Preordain. They Fairy Seer. Okay. And I think this is going to be my spot to play the Breath Weapon. Relic of Progenitus. I don't care about that. Sure. Alright, we have to tap the Saprazzan Skerry and remove a red here. We will Breath Weapon. Experimental Augury was a good draw. Okay, let's play it. Take the Infectious Inquiry, and now we proliferate. Tap for 3 colorless, let's use 1 black. Infectious Inquiry. Tap here, floating a mana, we'll Experimental Augury. Take another Infectious Inquiry. Proliferate. And we'll pass. Alright, I feel like we're back in this game now. That was a good turn for us. I wasn't feeling very confident up until that point. Another Fairy Seer. 2 on top. They play Basic Swamp. Let's start with a Contentious Plan. They're going to exile all graveyards. That's fine. Counterspell. I'll remove a blue from the Pentad Prism. We will dispel the Contentious Plan. So now we proliferate and draw a card. Steady Progress. That's good. Tap for some blue mana here. Let's Steady Progress. They're going to go up to 4 poison. And then I'll remove a counter here. We'll hardcast Lorien Reveal. Draw 3. Play the Saprazzan Skerry. Pass the turn. 4 mana. Okiba Gang Shinobi. Alright. I see you. We'll discard the 2 counter spells because our opponent just tapped out. And now it's time to rebuild. I guess we'll start by playing a Contentious Plan. Another Infectious Inquiry. We'll make a black. Play Infectious Inquiry. So our opponent will go up to 7 poison. And now we'll make another black with the Pentad Prism. Now they're at 8 poison. We will hardcast a Lorien Revealed. I'm sorry, they only went up to 7 poison? I thought it was 8. Oh, it's a poison counter. For some reason, I thought they gained 2. My bad. We can just pass the turn. Actually, if I play out... I'm just trying to think of how I can best play around Spell Pierce. Alright, now we'll pass. Fairy Seer. They attack for 3. We'll discard Pentad Prism and the island. Okay, those go to the graveyard. We're at 6, so our life total is getting pretty low here. We draw a Peat Bog. We'll start by casting Lorien Revealed. We need 3 good cards here. We need to find 3 more poison. Instead, we found a Breath Weapon. Play the Peat Bog. Pass the turn. A little worried that we've floundered out here at 6 life. They have 5 cards in hand. I'm going to sacrifice the Lotus Petal. And we're going to attempt a Breath Weapon. And that just resolved. Good deal. They cycle a Lorien Revealed. And they're passing with 4 cards in hand. We draw another land. We'll play Hickory Woodlot. Pass the turn. And step a flash and a Spellstutter Sprite. So I could have countered that with Bring the Ending. I just don't think it's a good idea. We'll take 1. I go to 5. Oh, they have a ninja. What is this? Something with 3 power. That's not good. So this is lethal. If I don't draw a card that's good here, we lose. No, our deck just floundered out. Ah, that's so devastating. That was a really good first match. I mean, we didn't win, but that was a really good first match. Bummer. We're 0-1. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the draw. I will keep. Vault of Whispers, Chromatic Star. Okay, we'll play Hickory Woodlot, pass the turn. I'm leading on the Hickory Woodlot because I want to tap it for Everflowing Chalice on turn 2, and I'd rather eat up green mana than blue mana. They play Faithless Looting. This might be the Goblins combo deck. It looks like it is. Okay. I mean, I suppose it could be Black Burn, but like that deck doesn't typically play Chromatic Star. We'll play the Skerry and Everflowing Chalice on 1. Pass the turn. Putrid Goblin. Skirk Prospector. They're only 1 card away. We haven't even gotten started. We'll play Peat Bog. Let's Experimental Augury. We'll take Pentad Prism. Proliferate. Tap this for 2. Play the Pentad Prism, and we'll pass the turn. They replay Vault of Whispers, and they have the combo. So we're going to, watch them kill us, I guess. So we need to make sure that they have an outlet to deal infinite damage. Because right now, they have infinite mana, but they don't have the infinite damage. Okay. And there's the Goblin Matron. And this should go get the, what is it called? Dark Dweller Oracle that allows them to cast their deck. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. I'm not going to be a jerk and make my opponent click a million times. We can just go to the second game. Okay, well that was brutal. Weather the Storm is not very good here. We can get rid of that. I do think we want Dispels because it counters First Day of Class. We can bring in the Ending. And then Fairy Macabres are in the sideboard primarily for this matchup. So that's 64 cards. You could probably take out the Breath Weapons. And then let's take out Deep Analysis. Okay, we're on the play. Sure, we'll try it. Play the Hickory Woodlot, pass the turn. Okay. Experimental Augury, we're just going to play our land and pass. Mesmeric Fiend. So that is able to take my Fairy Macabre. And instead they take the Poison card. Interesting. We draw Pentad Prism, which was a very good draw. We'll play it. And then let's steady progress. Pass the turn. They play Duress. They're probably going to take the Insight here if I had to take a wild guess, and they do. They attack for 1. We go to 19. We draw Dispel. We'll start off with a Contentious Plan. Peat Bog. We'll play that. Remove a blue mana from the Pentad Prism. Let's Experimental Augury. I guess I'll remove another blue mana. We'll Dispel Augury. We'll take a Prologue, because that way we can start to infect them. Alright, get poisoned. And I guess we'll Experimental Augury while they're tapped out. Take an Insight. Target them, and then our permanents. Pass. They play an Ichor Wellspring. Okay. We find another Pentad Prism. I love that. Let's play it. We'll play the Insight. Proliferate. The Contentious Plan is now free when you have double Pentad Prism. So we'll Proliferate again. Play the basic Forest. And then we're going to spend a bunch of mana on another copy of Insight. Target them. They now have 5 Infect, or 5 Poison, whatever you would like to call it. And I think we could pass from here. Another copy of Ichor Wellspring. Sweet. They've had enough. We'll go to game 3. Submit. We're on the draw, and we've opened up a very good hand for game 3. We will keep this. I mean, I wish it had a Fairy Macabre in it, but I'm not going to send this back. We're going to lead on the Saprazzan Skerry, because on turn 2 we can go Basic Forest into Pentad Prism. Chromatic Star. Slow start for the opponent here. We find an Inquiry. That's good. We'll play Pentad Prism. We'll remove 1 counter, and then we'll Experimental Augury. Grab a Contentious Plan. Proliferate. Pass the turn. 2 mana. The Deadly Dispute. Swamp. And a Duress. Interested to see what they take here. They take the Infectious Inquiry. And a Faithless Looting. Discards a Putrid Goblin. That's important to note. For Unearth effects. We'll start by just playing a Prologue here. So they'll get their first poison. We draw Infectious Inquiry. Play the Hickory Woodlot. Let's Contentious Plan. Make sure that we proliferate on them. And then all of our permanents. Draw a card. Another Insight. We'll play out Lotus Petal. And now we'll Contentious Plan again. Our shields are down unless we draw something good here. We did not, so we will pass and have to hope that they don't have the win. Chromatic Star. They use the Chromatic Star for a Goblin Matron. So they're getting close to being able to win here. They find a Skirk Prospector. Yeah, things are not looking good. I need to draw something here. Peat Bog. Okay. Let's start with an Insight. Dispel is going to be decent. Make sure we target them as well. And then I'm going to remove a counter from the Pentad Prism. We'll cycle Lorien Revealed. Grab an island. Play it and pass. And by not playing the Peat Bog here, I guarantee that I have double counterspell to stay alive. Skirk Prospector. That's a Putrid Goblin. They sacrifice the Goblin Matron and the Putrid Goblin first day of class. I will attempt a Dispel. Do you have a Red Elemental Blast? It looks like the answer is no. And now this has a counter on it, so the next time they have a first day of class, it doesn't work how they wanted. So I think that they probably shouldn't have sacrificed the Goblin Matron and probably should have just tapped a land. Okay, so we'll just cast another draw 3 here. And I could have played the Peat Bog out first, but I wanted to keep my options open to make sure I don't lose. Because I don't think the extra charge counter on the land matters much. We'll play Peat Bog. Pass. Fanatical Offering. And another copy of Ichor Wellspring. They attack for 1, we'll take it. We go to 19. Everflowing Chalice, let's play that. And now we'll tap some mana. We'll play an Insight. Target them. And then our permanents. Player land. And let's Contentious Plan. They'll go up to 7, in fact. I might just have the win here. So 3 copies of Infectious Inquiries, 9 mana. We have 8 right now, so I'm 1 mana short. Unless, maybe I Steady Progress first, and that makes a mana. Yeah, I think this might win. So we'll Steady Progress. Play Lotus Petal. I don't think I even needed the Lotus Petal, though. And now we'll make black. Infectious Inquiry. Make black again. Infectious Inquiry. We're officially 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, we're on the draw once again, and again we have a no lander. We have to send this back. This hand seems delightful. We will keep this and get rid of the deep analysis. Okay, this might be our first time facing red this league. Looking to draw like a Pentad Prism. We draw Peat Bog, which wasn't bad, but it's still not Pentad Prism. They play a second land. Oh, we're not facing Goblin. We're facing... we're not facing red. We're facing the Goblins deck again. Okay. Another Lotus Petal. We'll just play the Peat Bog and pass. My hand is kind of slow for this matchup. Ichor Wellspring, you've got it. Into a Rakdos Carnarium. We draw a Steady Progress. I believe I'm going to play Insight here, just so that way we can dig a little bit deeper. So we'll cast the Insight. Let's float a black mana. Black is just a little bit more valuable. We'll put some counters back on these lands. And I'll pass here. I could Lotus Petal into the Everflowing Chalice, but... oh no. Whoops. I should have cycled the Lorien Revealed for the island. That's my bad. Deadly Dispute, sacrificing Ichor Wellspring. Makeshift Munitions, you've got it. They have 8 cards in hand now, and they play a Duress. So this is one of the interesting things about the deck, in my opinion, is that we're in a spot where we desperately want a card to poison our opponent, but we just don't have one. We'll play the Everflowing Chalice for 1 here. And that's why I chose to play 6 Infect cards today when a lot of lists only play 5. I think I'm going to play the Peat Bog first, so that way we can get the extra counter on that. And then let's Contentious Plan floating a black. And this way, if I draw the card that gives poison here, I can cast it. But I didn't. Okay. We'll cycle Lorien Revealed. Go grab another island. Pass the turn. So this is one of those things where we didn't open up on Pentad Prism. We didn't open up on the Infect card. And now I just feel like this deck kind of flounders, which is why I wanted more of those Infect cards in the deck. However, the people that work on this deck, and I mean there's several of them, they all insist that like 5 is the right number, but I don't know. It just seems like if you don't open on one, your deck doesn't do anything. We'll start with Experimental Augury. We'll take the Insight. It doesn't really help us that much here. Okay, we'll play the Island. Lotus Petal. We need to make some blue mana. We'll Insight again. And I'm punished here because I actually drew the Pentad Prism. But I didn't float black-green. I just floated double black, which might have been a mistake. And now we'll play the Infectious Inquiry. Now we'll play Pentad Prism, which could have had 2 counters on it if I floated my mana differently. But I don't know how much that matters. We have to hope that our opponent does not have the win here. We're dead to the first day of class. They play Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the Putrid Goblin. Interesting. So if they have first day of class, now they need another Putrid Goblin. Or they need an Unearth. Another Deadly Dispute. They're digging for it. Another Putrid Goblin. That's trouble. Dark Dweller Oracle. It looks like they don't have it. We caught a break. They saw 33% of their deck and never found a first day of class. We have to make it count now. Alright, we will start with a Contentious Plan. Target them so I don't forget. And then all of our permanents that need dice. We drew an island. I'll play a Steady Progress. I'm going to use up some black mana here. Target them, and then everything else. Drew another land. Brutal. I guess I'll use a blue. We'll play the Saprazzan Skerry. I didn't want to play it because I was hoping for a bigger turn, but we kind of just drew into nothing. Experimental Augury is not bad. We'll play that. Take another Experimental Augury. proliferate. They go up to 5 poison. We'll burn another blue mana. Experimental Augury. Contentious Plan versus Lorien Revealed. I'm going to take the Lorien Revealed. It doesn't proliferate, but a random draw 1 versus a draw 3, I think, is what we need. We need the actual cards here. And now we'll make blue. We'll draw 3. And I can weather the storm to gain a lot of life, but it doesn't actually matter versus the deck that can deal infinite damage. We'll gain a whole lot of life. Pass the turn. We likely have a win lined up next turn, assuming our opponent doesn't actually find the card that kills us. They play a land. The Putrid Goblin to exile the top card, which is a Goblin Matron. They still just need first day of class. Well, actually, now they need an Unearth, because they keep on sacrificing the Putrid Goblin. Okay. Fanatical Offering. They sacrifice the Mesmeric Fiend. They find Unearth. So they're still just... Unearth actually wasn't a bad hit here, because it gets back the Putrid Goblin for less mana. So if they managed to have the first day of class, they would win. But it wouldn't have been off of the Unearth reveal, they would have already have had it. They unearth the Putrid Goblin. Oh, that's a cute interaction. The map gets rid of the -1 counter on Putrid Goblin. I had never considered that up until this point. That is very cute. And it looks like they're passing the turn. Very lucky. Okay, so let's start off by casting a Prologue here. I guess I'll use the Everflowing Chalice. Play another Prologue, Infectious Inquiry, and Experimental Augury. Take the Breath Weapon. Proliferate. I can't believe we won this game. Turn 7, our opponent went 50% into their deck and never found it. We incredibly lucky. Like, did not deserve to win game number 1 here. Okay. But we'll take our win, and now we're going to board for game number 2, where we want the Fairy Macabres. We don't need Breath Weapon. We don't need Weather the Storm. Leaves us at 62 cards. I keep on boarding out Deep Analysis because I'm pretty sure it's the weakest card in the deck. I know that a lot of the people surrounding this deck don't like Prologue, but Deep Analysis is just so clunky, and I understand that I've been fizzling a lot, which means I should probably keep in Deep Analysis more often. But 6 mana to draw 4 cards along with 3 life is kind of a lot. I think it just has to be Deep Analysis. We will submit. Love drawing Fairy in this matchup. We will keep. They play a turn 1 tap land. We'll play the Saprazzan Skerry, pass the turn. Skirk Prospector, you've got it. Play Peat Bog. And let's Experimental Augury. We'll take the Pentad Prism. That was a great find. Proliferate. Pass the turn. And even if our opponent has the insane turn 3 win here, we have the Fairy Macabre holding down the fort. Ichor Wellspring, sure. They attack for 1, we'll go to 19. And another copy of Skirk Prospector. Another Pentad Prism. Good deal. Alright, we'll play the first one. Now the second one. And this means that all of the 2-mana spells essentially become free. So we'll remove a counter from each of these now. And play a Contentious Plan. Okay. Prologue was a great draw here. I think I'm supposed to hold off, though. Because I don't want to burn the Pentad Prism. Actually, maybe I should do it now. Because now they can't Red Elemental Blast it without sacrificing a Prospector. And now we'll pass. Mesmeric Fiend. They can pay for the Bring the Ending here. I think I just have to let this resolve. And you might be wondering why I didn't play Contentious Plan last turn. I would have had to burn the last counter on a Pentad Prism, and I did not want that to happen. First day of class. Okay. They need the Putrid Goblin in play for that to be relevant here. So I think that this was a bait. I think they were trying to bait me there. Like, it just doesn't make sense why you would play that in that spot. Let's try Contentious Plan. I could play out the Peat Bog first, but I think we have enough mana lands where I don't need to do that. Just in case we end up having a larger turn. Lorien Revealed was a good draw. So we'll play the Forest, and now we'll Lorien Revealed. Remove one of the counters from Pentad Prism. We'll pass with double counter spell backup. They have a Duress. Sure. They discard a Bring the Ending. Introduction to Prophecy, you've got it. Don't care about that. Means I'm not dead this turn, that's the big thing. They put 2 cards on top, so they liked both cards. They attack for 3, I'll go to 16. Another land. Okay, so what to do? I think we start with an Infectious Inquiry. Everflowing Chalice. We'll play the Peat Bog now. Play the Everflowing Chalice for 1. And then let's Experimental Augury into 3 duds. That was actually pretty bad. Proliferate. So now the Bring the Ending is a hard counter spell, but I'm worried that it's just not going to be good enough. Goblin Matron. Okay. They grab the Putrid Goblin. They can sacrifice the Goblin Matron, tap the Tramway Station, play Putrid Goblin. But I think they're a little bit too constrained on mana to go for it this turn. I could be wrong, but that's the read that I have here. And this is a turn that is critical in this game. We need to do something. I'm going to start with Infectious Inquiry. Another Pentad Prism. Okay, that's interesting. We'll play the Prism. Play a land. Remove a counter from a Pentad Prism. We'll play Insight here. Proliferate, they go up to 6 poison. Level up all of our artifacts. We hit another Infectious Inquiry and a Prologue. Neither of those proliferate. I think I just need to accept that I need to cast these spells, so we'll Inquiry again. They'll go up to 7 poison. Another Insight, that's good. We'll play Lotus Petal. Blue. So with triple Pentad Prism, the Insight only costs 2 mana. We'll play Insight. They go up to 8 poison. And I think that's the ball game. Alright, so we'll remove counters here to play another Pentad Prism. This is pretty sweet. Okay. And now we'll remove counters. Steady Progress. This gives them 9 poison. That was a Infect spell that made a mana, which is kind of wild. And now we'll Prologue for the win. With double counterspell back up. Sweet. Alright, well we got there. We're now 2-1, 2 matches left to go. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4, we're on the play. Very good hand. Keep. Okay, we'll start off with a first turn Hickory Woodlot and pass the turn. Swamp Cycle Barrenmoor. Okay. Play the island. Tap for 2. We'll play Everflowing Chalice. And then let's play the Pentad Prism with 1 counter. You could Lotus Petal into it, but I'm not sure if I love that. So we'll just pass here. Okay, Orzhov Basilica. So it looks like we're facing the Orzhov control deck, which is an insanely good matchup for us. Weather the Storm was not a good draw, though. We will burn the Lotus Petal, and let's Steady Progress. This way we can Proliferate, make some mana, all that good stuff. And now we'll make a black mana, and Infectious Inquiry, hopefully hit a land. We do. Perfect. Pass the turn. Our opponent just immediately conceded. Big fan. Alright, game number 2. We don't need Breath Weapon. We don't need Weather the Storm. We'll Bring the Ending and Dispel, just because those other cards in our sideboard are useless, so we'll try this. I don't even know how good Dispel is in this matchup, but it's got to be better than these cards. This is another very good hand. We will keep. One thing I'm not so sure about is the basic forest. Part of me thinks it should be a swamp, so that way we can actually cast our Infectious Inquiries more consistently, because it's a card we need to cast to win the game. Okay, they play Obscura Storefront for a basic plains. We'll play Saprazzan Skerry, pass the turn. Thraben Inspector. I wonder, I mean, well, let's see how this game plays out, but I wonder if Dragon's Breath is better than the Dispels, but we'll see. Chalice on 2. Or, I'm sorry, we're going to Chalice on 1. I was thinking on turn 2. So we'll play it, and then we'll play Pentad Prism again. Pass. Oh, well that hurts. I I guess I shouldn't have done that? Alright, we'll cycle a Lorien Revealed. I was not considering Dust to Dust here. We'll grab a basic island. Okay, well that hurt, but we're still in it. Contentious Plan. Let's do that to level up our Saprazzan Skerry. Prologue. I think I'm going to save this so that next turn I can hardcast Deep Analysis while keeping my land. It's not like the Thraben Inspector is applying a lot of pressure either. Land number 4. Thorn. I'm going to counterspell this. We don't need them drawing a ton of cards. Alright, we will Prologue, hopefully drawing a land. We do not. We will pass. Duress resolves. They take our counterspell. For Skyfisher, they probably should have played this post-combat so that way they could pick up the Thraben Inspector, because they just lost out on 1 point of damage here. Yeah, and they realized it, so we draw Experimental Augury, which is great because it can put another counter on our Saprazzan Skerry. We'll take a Hickory Woodlot, and then proliferate, play the Hickory Woodlot, pass the turn. And now next turn I can start playing our Insights to get ahead on card advantage. They sacrifice a Clue. They're up to 4 cards in hand. And another Core Skyfisher. So it's worth noting that if I had left in Dragon's Breath, it doesn't do a whole lot against the Skyfishers, but it does kill all the Thraben Inspector effects. Peat Bog, okay. Let's proliferate. Okay. So they're attacking for 6 damage next turn. That will bring me to 9. Okay. So 9 still gives me another turn for what it's worth. They would need to put 3 power on the table right now. Well, that is 2. So if they have another creature here, they replay the land. They sacrifice a Clue. So this is 8, which means I can't play my Infectious Inquiry if we want to win. Alright, so let's start by playing the Everflowing Chalice for 1. Actually, hold on. I think I want to save my blue mana. We'll spend 2 green. And now we'll tap for black. We'll play Pentad Prism using one of the green. Tap here. Let's play the island. And now we'll play Insight. They'll go up to 3 poison. Okay. We'll spend 2 of the Pentad Prism mana. We'll play Contentious Plan. This goes up to 4 poison now. And our Chalice has 3 mana. So now we'll remove 1 counter here. We'll Deep Analysis. Okay, so they have 4 poison. And we have 2 cards we can't cast next turn. And a Deep Analysis in the graveyard we can't flash back due to not having enough life. So right now we're all in on this steady progress being very good for us. And I've drawn multiple Dispels, which have not been very good. So I think we need to board those out for game 3. The question is, like, do you bring in the Dragon's Breath or do you bring in Weather the Storm? I don't know. Maybe Weather the Storm, so that way Deep Analysis and Infectious Inquiry can be cast without punishment. Because like I mentioned, Dragon's Breath doesn't kill the 2/3s. Another Pentad Prism. So it's all up to steady progress here. Cast the steady progress. They'll go up to 5 poison. Draw. Lorien Revealed was a good hit. Okay, so let's play Island. And now we'll float a colorless and hardcast the Lorien Revealed. It's something. Okay, so remove a blue. We will Contentious Plan. They go up to 6 poison. Draw. Experimental Augury was an insane hit here. Okay, so we'll tap this for a green. Let's Prologue. Now they'll go up to 7. And it's back to being all up to Experimental Augury. Come on, deck, don't fail me. Steady progress keeps us in it. They go up to 8 poison. Okay. Now we'll make some mana. Steady progress. They go up to 9 poison. We need a card that proliferates here for the match win. They just conceded. I didn't actually have it. Alright, let's draw a card. It would have been Lotus Petal, so I would have played Infectious Inquiry to draw the game, assuming that I don't die before they get the poison counter. They conceded too early. Wow. Alright, well, I'll take the match win, thank you. We're now 3-1. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The final round, we're on the play. Let's get that 4-1. I will keep this. I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but our opponent won a challenge about a month, maybe a month and a half ago with Turbo Fog. Lanes. Luminarch Veteran. I have a feeling that this is a good matchup for us. We will cycle Lorien Revealed. Go grab an island. Play the island. Pentad Prism. Pass the turn. Raffine's Informant. I do not care about life gain with our deck. Battle Screech is discarded. Sure. Everflowing Chalice. We'll play the Saprazzan Skerry. Remove a counter. We'll Chalice for 1 here. And then play Lotus Petal. Contentious Plan. We will proliferate. Draw land. Use the Hickory Woodlot. Experimental Augury. Let's take Deep Analysis. It's 1 more mana, but it does give us 4 cards instead. Proliferate once again. And then I'm going to Weather the Storm to gain 15 life. Okay. Who says we're not a Storm deck? Come on. We're just a really slow Storm deck. They play a Militia Bugler. And now they're attacking for 4. Good deal. I'm at 30. We'll start off by tapping these. Hardcast Deep Analysis targeting ourselves. Breath Weapon and Weather the Storm. Let's Deep Analysis. I'll go to 27. We'll play Saprazzan Skerry. And let's Contentious Plan. Proliferate. Pass the turn. We haven't found our card that actually infects or poisons our opponent yet, but I feel like we're in a very good spot here. They attack for 7. We'll go back down to 20. For a Skyfisher. Into Squadron Hawk. And now a Battle Screech. Sure. They have 6 cards still in hand too. We draw a Lotus Petal. Let's start off with Lorien Revealed. We draw an Insight. Okay. Play out some Lotus Petals. We're likely going to end up casting Weather the Storm this turn. We'll play the Insight. Proliferate. We have still not poisoned them yet. Play the island. We'll play another Pentad Prism. And now the Steady Progress only costs 1 mana. Steady Progress. Oh no, I accidentally removed... Oh, I messed up. I didn't mean to remove both counters from that Pentad Prism. That's unfortunate. I wasn't paying attention. Whoops. That's my bad. And now we'll gain 21 life and pass. They play the land again. They're attacking for a bunch of damage. Sure. I go down to 28. They still have 6 cards in hand. Another Militia Bugler. They find Raffine's Informant. And they play Thraben Inspector. Even with messing up there on the Pentad Prism, we still have double Breath Weapon to blow out their entire board. Let's start with a Deep Analysis. It's also kind of crazy. I've seen almost half my deck, and we have not found a card that poisons the opponent yet. We'll play Everflowing Chalice. We'll play it for 1, using up some colorless mana. Let's Insight again. Proliferate into 3 lands. That's not ideal. We'll play Peat Bog. And I think we're going to Dragon's Breath here. And then we'll remove 1 counter from Pentad Prism. We'll Dragon's Breath again. Pass the turn. Or I keep on calling it Dragon's Breath. It's Breath Weapon. Forgive me. They play Raffine's Informant. Discards Prismatic Strands. That's a card that you wished was in your graveyard last turn. They pass. We'll take a draw. Another Pentad Prism. Let's just start by casting Lorien Revealed. Okay, we find a Steady Progress. We'll play a couple more Pentad Prisms here first. Pentad Prism. Play a Peat Bog. Steady Progress. 17 minutes on the clock. I need to get going. Okay. We need some blue mana. We'll play an Insight. Proliferate. Taking me a long time here. We finally find a card that infects the opponent. Tap for 4. We'll play Infectious Inquiry. Play a Prologue. Flashback Deep Analysis. I have 15 cards left in my deck. It's not a lot. Okay. Well, Contentious Plan. We do have to click on them for the Proliferate. 16 minutes left. Another Infectious Inquiry. I'm going to quit leveling up my lands at this point just because it's not good for time. We'll grab another Augury, proliferate on them. 16 minutes left. Okay. Another Augury. We'll take the Infectious Inquiry. They'll go up to 5 poison. Black, green. We'll weather the storm. Pass the turn with 12 cards left in our deck. Discard some lands. Squadron Hawk. And another Squadron Hawk. They attack for 4. We'll go to 55. And at this point, we just have to hope that we can deal them enough poison before anything goes wrong. I will Contentious Plan. I'm not even going to bother leveling up my stuff anymore. Or maybe I'll level up the Pentad Prisms. I just need to win faster. Prologue, that's great. They have 7 poison. Tap the Peat Bog. Infectious Inquiry, so they'll go up to 8 poison. Infectious Inquiry, they'll go up to 9 poison. Play the island. Actually, Infectious Inquiry is just faster. We'll cast that. Alright, we've taken game number 1, but it took 10 minutes. That was a long game. So we probably want the Breath Weapon. We probably want Serrated Arrows. That's 64 cards. Well, what to board out here? I think we board out like 2 copies of Weather the Storm. And then like Double Deep Analysis. Let's try this. Good hand. Very good hand. Keep. They have a land, so do we. Pass. Squadron Hawk. They find 3. Discards a Battle Screech. We'll play Peat Bog, pass the turn. Raffine's Informant. Discard Squadron Hawk. Thraben Inspector. And a Battle Screech. They have 5 cards. Experimental Augury. I think I'm just going to play Insight here. Level up our lands. And now we have to go to discard. We could probably get rid of 1 Insight and the Hickory Woodlot. Idyllic Range. So now their creature is a 4/3, which matters for Breath Weapon. They attack. I go to 12. Squadron Hawk. And another Squadron Hawk. Another Breath Weapon. Let's cast a Augury here. We need to find something that helps us. We cannot cast any of our spells, so I'm going to concede and save time and we can go to game number 3. We needed to find a Lotus Petal or something else, Pentad Prism, much earlier that game. We'll resubmit. The final game of this Pauper League. This hand's, like, we have triple Lorien revealed, but it's like a bunch of basics. I think you're supposed to mulligan. We can try it. Bottom the Prologue. Play Peat Bog, pass the turn. Okay. We'll cycle the Lorien revealed for a basic. Play the land. And now we'll Experimental Augury. Think we want the Breath Weapon. Proliferate on our land. Pass the turn. Raffine's Informant. Discards Prismatic Strands, okay. We'll play the Hickory Woodlot. And Infectious Inquiry. Pass the turn. Another Raffine's Informant. Discards a Militia Bugler. Pentad Prism. We'll cycle Lorien Revealed. Grab a basic. Play Lotus Petal. And we'll play a Serrated Arrows. If you're unfamiliar, it comes into the battlefield with 3 counters. If it has no counters, you sacrifice it. Remove a counter and put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. They attack for 6. I'll use a Serrated Arrow here. So we'll take 5 down to 9. I'm sorry, down to 10. Counting's tough. I was thinking 9 if I didn't do anything, but... because I was considering waiting until post-combat to make sure that I could Breath Weapon next turn. Okay. We will Serrated Arrows the Squadron Hawk. Play Peat Bog. Use this one for black. Play the Pentad Prism. Tap for red. I'm sorry, tap for blue. We'll use Pentad Prism for red. Breath Weapon. Okay. They still have 8 cards, so they're very much in this. Squadron Hawk. Prologue. I think instead of playing Prologue here, I'm just going to play another Serrated Arrows. Pass the turn. They play a Thraben Inspector. Everflowing Chalice. Well, Chalice for 1. Pass the turn. They sacrifice a Clue. Well, Serrated Arrows their Inspector. So we have the game mostly stabilized, but I need to find proliferate spells. Another serrated arrows. Let's play Prologue. Steady progress. Think I'm going to wait a turn to play that. Novice Inspector. Let's play Steady Progress. Okay. Level up. Lorien Revealed. Player land. Play another serrated arrows. Pick off your creatures. Pass the turn. Rafine's Informant. The serrated arrows thing in this deck is so cool. Okay, we will play a Lorien Revealed. We find Experimental Augury. That's good. Play Lotus Petal. We'll burn one counter from Pentad Prism. Use the Lotus Petal. We'll play Pentad Prism. And I think I'm willing to get rid of the Hickory Woodlot. And now I'll use this Pentad Prism for blue. Experimental Augury. We'll grab another Experimental Augury. They'll go up to 4 poison. We level everything up. Okay. Make a blue. Experimental Augury again. We'll take the Insight. They go up to 5 poison. We're in the end game now. Tap this. Blue. And then we'll make 2 blue here. Play another Insight. Proliferate, they're at 6 poison. Okay, Contentious Plan. We'll go up to 7 poison. You have to level up your serrated arrows. I mean, this is like the one spot in all of Magic the Gathering where they're still good. Well, Rafine's Informant their creature. Blue, green, Weather the Storm. Okay. They have found land number 3. It only took till turn 10. Dust to dust. Alright, so they concede, and we got the 4-1. This deck was awesome. Even in the one match we lost, it was a deck with a lot of counter spells. They had a really good start game 2, and in game 3, on a mulligan to 5, I stabilized. I turned the corner, and then our deck had several bad draws in a row. And I feel like maybe I could have misboarded. I'm not exactly sure, but it was a really good showing from this deck. Yes, it's a little bit slow, but you have ways to slow the game down with Weather the Storm and Breath Weapon. You're not weak to Graveyard Hate. You're not weak to creature removal. This deck felt really powerful. I liked it quite a bit. I'm not sold on Deep Analysis, but it was decent in a couple spots this league. So I did like that. The only thing I would definitely change, like if I was going to play this deck in another league and I knew that I was going to make one change, I think this basic forest should be a basic swamp. We have Anoint with Affliction in the sideboard. We have Infectious Inquiry. I think we want the Black Source. I don't think we want a basic forest for Weather the Storm. But also, I'm going to actually just play a Sandstone Needle, because that way we have red mana for Breath Weapon. It works better with all of our proliferating. It's better for Pentad Prism. I think that a 1-of Sandstone Needle might be better than a random basic that's off color. It's just a thought. But I would probably try a Sandstone Needle or the basic Swamp. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, keep storming. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. If you're looking for more sweet combo content, we have tons of it over at theepicstorm.com, where you can find matchup guides, play-by-play, and storm puzzles featuring a monthly combo expert. You're going to love what we have over there.